Attention shoppers, tonight on the checkout, we're throwing a party with the Guilty Mum. Kirsten retreats from mental health retreats, and Satan does the gardening.
As a guilty mum, I know my darling's birthday is a special day where money really can buy love, just like any other day. Turning 1 is a very special achievement, so naturally I celebrate it in style with the first birthday girl autograph hound, including pen. An autograph hound is, well, indescribable, but it's created so many priceless, well, memories. Dressing up the birthday girl is a must from year 1. Thanks to Zariana Princess Couture, my little girl's birthday was unique because she wore exactly the same fashions as these girls. A young lady only turns 1 once after all, so it's important to dress her in something appropriate, like these lace leg warmers. And as a guilty mum, I know the first birthday has to be marked with a cake smash. The smash cake tradition has been in my family ever since I read about it on a Disney-sponsored blog. I'm just so glad she didn't miss out because cake smash photography sessions are only offered to babies turning 1, in most cases. A guilty mum knows every birthday has to be different. We've already done pay and play. I went for the ultimate party package, of course. For just $100 extra, you get themed cups, plates and hats for free. Not to mention a visit from the world-famous Lollipops the cat.
Mummy, hurry up!
Coming, darling. But I don't think I'll do a trampoline park party again. The risk of injury was way too worrisome for me.
You organised this trampoline party. How do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honour. About everything. That's why this year I'm all about keeping it real and having a traditional party at home. I like the personal touch. So we've personalised these Frozen-inspired invitations. Lots of the stationery with real Frozen images in it was no longer available online. Maybe they inspired legal action. Plus, I've personalised the Frozen Party package to make all her dreams come true. It's the perfect place to put all our Frozen plates, snack box containers, tattoos, erasers, crayons, Rubik's Cubes, medals, hair clips, keychains, plus of course the Sing-a-Tune Frozen balloon for just $34.95. It's an absolute must. Isn't that right, Elsa?
Yay! Please don't make me go out there, I'm scared.
Just let it go. Of course, not everything has to be Frozen themed. That would be tacky. For that unique, chic, boutique event that'll have all my friends talking, I've also ordered a candy buffet.
Hello, how was the party?
Oh, just wonderful. It's just so nice to do something simple at home for a change.
Phone call for you, sir.
Yes?
Hi there, we're just calling to see if you're happy with your tea service.
What? Yes, I am happy. Very happy, as a matter of fact.
And we can't interest you in making a doily purchase?
Purchase? Purchase? This is a sales call? How very dare you.
Well, sir, you're not on the Do Not Call register.
What?
But you can very easily register online. In fact, you can even register your mobile phone.
Well, I most certainly will. Good day. www.donotcall. What now? Yes, hello?
Hi there, I'm calling from the Brandy Snifter Emporium, and I was wondering if...
Now look here, I'll have you know that I am on the Do Not Call register and...
Yes, sir. While the Do Not Call register does block telemarketing calls, market research calls are exempt. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you sniff your brandy?
That is none of your business.
Well, sir, if you are unhappy, you can make a complaint to ACMA. All you need is the time of the call and the name of the company.
I will see that I do. Jenkins, prepare a telegram. To Mr. ACMA, stop. Most urgent message, stop. Telemarketing calls must stop, stop, stop. Be calm, Timothy. Stop! What?
Charities are also exempt. Would you like to make a donation to the Bird Protection Society?
Would I? No.
You know, you can always unlist your number.
Oh, I see.
But some telcos will charge you a monthly fee for this.
Well, I'll just have to make do. Jenkins, sell the chateau in Clermont-Ferrand. Now see here.
I just wanted to let you know that as of this year, numbers on the DNCR don't have to be renewed. So while there are some exemptions, it's still a way to stop nuisance calls.
Fine, but why didn't it stop this one?
Because members of Parliament are one of the groups that are exempt. Let freedom ring!
Lion
Breaking news!
Myer Centre gift cards now accepted at Myer.
Where the hell were they accepted before?
Bargains, bargains, bargains!
Was $39.60. Only $47. Was $24.40. Only $47. Was $24.95. Only $47.
Hang on, they're all more expensive than...
Only $47.
Is that the only thing you can say?
Only $47.
Uh-huh.
Rock bottom prices.
Digital camera, lowest price $16,560,030.77. Free shipping.
At that price, I expect a free ship.
We're giving these away.
AFL Live Pass, free 7-day trial, $4.99.
I'm not sure I can afford all that freeness.
The Gregorian calendar must go.
Sandwich avocados, one for every day of the week.
But there's only 4 of them.
One for every day of the week.
So what kind of a week has 4 days?
Only $47.
Here we go again.
Join us next week for more Signs of the Time. Only $47.
Stop saying that!
Life, it can really get to you, leaving you confused.
All of the bad things are happening.
Sad.
And cancer is a thing.
Worried. Sometimes just switching off can make you feel better. But other times...
I just need to get away.
You might decide to go to a health retreat. Most of these retreats don't pretend to be anything but an oasis of tranquility, complete with Infinity Edge custom-designed lap pools and smiley people who bring you freshly squeezed juice. Lots of juice. Maybe even juice from the Juice Master. Where you can sit on your bottom, look at your bottom, and have water blown up your bottom.
Shh, just let the herbs and spring water do their thing.
Tranquility!
And hey, that's cool if all you're after is a relaxing getaway and squeaky clean bowels. But some retreats go a whole lot further and promise
To address deep-seated or ongoing emotional and psychological issues,
Post-traumatic stress disorder,
severe ongoing anxiety and depression,
bipolar,
eating disorders and addiction.
I mean, if you looked hard enough, you could probably find one promising to deal with any physical or emotional issue that holds you back. Oh yeah, there it is.
Now, if you search online for mental health retreats, the top results will probably include Beat the Blues, Palladium Private, and Fountainhead Organic Health Retreat. They're all actually the same place, Fountainhead, Australia's leading retreat, which sets Fountainhead apart from all these other leading retreats.
Based on the Fountainhead method, the Palladium Private program offers a highly effective educational approach to recovery.
Since 2002, Fountainhead Retreat has been offering holistic treatment for all those serious mental illnesses we mentioned earlier. They use something called the Fountainhead Method, TM, which was developed by the retreat's founders, Wayne Parrott and Michelle Mark, and is apparently used by health practitioners nationwide. Now, Wayne has since passed away, but Michelle is still with Fountainhead, and the retreat continues to run on a compelling legacy. Fountainhead's endorsed by the Anti-Depression Association of Australia and the Australian Depression Institute, and all of their life coaches have been trained at the Mentoring Institute of Australia. The retreat's founder, Wayne Parrott, even received an award from the Commonwealth Government for his work. But some of these credentials seem to be pulled from you know where. The Australian Depression Institute was actually established by Fountainhead founders Wayne Parrott and Michelle Mark. They also founded the Anti-Depression Association of Australia. So when Wayne and Michelle were interviewed by the ADAA about their programs, they were effectively talking to themselves.
So, how would you describe your work? Oh, well, it's brilliant. 5 stars.
And their life coach trainer, the Mentoring Institute of Australia, was founded by, you guessed it, Michelle Mark. Although it is accredited by the ADA... Oh, yeah. As for that award from the Commonwealth Government, the Prime Minister's office told us it's not an award from the Commonwealth Government, just a certificate of recognition from local Senator Mark Ferner. Even Prince Philip would knock that one back. And wherever those psychologists and doctors nationwide using the Fountainhead method are, and Fountainhead couldn't name any, none of those doctors or psychologists are actually at the retreat. And as for Fountainhead's founders, they weren't doctors or psychologists either, although Wayne was educated at the School of Life, which at least is one institution he didn't found himself.
It's a boy! And the graduate!
Thanks, Juice Master! Now, none of this is to say that Fountainhead doesn't have some very happy customers. It's just that those testimonials are a lot easier to find than the negative reviews, which seem to have been taken down. Fortunately for us, the internet never forgets.
Fountainhead is certainly a weird retreat in a charming and picturesque location.
Under no circumstances give these crystal munchers your business.
If you're suffering from a mental illness, give this place a miss. Should you be thinking of going here? I would highly recommend you don't.
This place is an absolute joke.
Fountainhead says anonymous complaints are useless as a tool for measuring client satisfaction. Each to their own, I guess. But one thing we can all agree on is that a stay at Fountainhead truly is life-changing, in that it's life-changingly expensive.
The 28-day program costs $31,000.
$31,000?
And don't think that money buys you luxury.
If you're looking for Versace, this may not be for you.
Too right. We've calculated that if instead of this package, you did a different DIY Versace retreat, including a room at the 5-star Palazzo Versace Hotel on the Gold Coast, with 3 meals a day, and a daily massage, and a daily session with a qualified clinical psychologist, and a daily colonic irrigation, you could get all that for under $1,000 a day. Although Fountainhead does point out...
You cannot compare the program content.
Oh, and one more thing. They say if you're on prescribed medication when you attend the retreat, you must stay on it. Here, here, and here. And here, in their response to us, which you can see on our website in full. But one former guest we spoke to says Fountainhead didn't follow that advice with her.
I was made to check in my prescribed anti-anxiety medication on arrival at the Fountainhead retreat. It was supposed to be given to me each morning, but sometimes staff forgot and I had to chase it up myself. Meanwhile, the naturopath I was taken to as part of their program provided me with an alternative herbal liquid called Blues Buster Remedy. I was supposed to phase it in as a total replacement for my prescribed medication within 6 days. I tried it and suffered withdrawal symptoms as a result. But when I asked to see a doctor, I was told that would be an extra cost, although I was advised I could see the naturopath again for free.
The president of the Royal Australian and New Zealand College of Psychiatrists says products like Blues Buster Remedy
are not only ill-advised, but potentially dangerous.
and that phasing it in as a total replacement
Would be not in line with any evidence-based method of reducing medication use.
Fountainhead denies staff discourage guests from taking prescribed medications or being aware of this happening and say,
It is not our policy for a client to be told they would be charged extra to consult a doctor.
You know, not everyone can spend weeks checking up on a business's credentials and ringing up the Prime Minister's office to see what certificates mean.
I know, but there are a few red flags to look out for in the mental health field, including grand promises of life-changing transformations in very short timeframes, exorbitant fees, trademarked methods or therapies, and relying heavily on testimonials. In fact, registered health professionals aren't allowed to advertise by testimonials. If you see a combination of these, it's worth asking a GP what they think. But hey, if you've got 30 grand to spend on a retreat, you might get something out of it. Fountainhead reckons you will.
The Fountainhead Retreat is an ethical and well-regarded educational centre which provides programs for people in need of non-medical solutions to improve their mental well-being. We are proud of what we do and what we have achieved for more than 6,000 Australians.
If you do feel like you need to see a professional about your mental health, your doctor is a good place to start. Not Dr. Google, your GP. They can help put you in touch with a reputable psychologist, psychiatrist or counsellor. They can even put you onto one of these, a mental health treatment plan, which entitles you to a Medicare rebate for up to 10 individual and 10 group psychologist sessions per year.
Do they cover colonics?
No, mate. Just make sure you
Know your size!
First up, there are no regulations for people working as psychotherapists, counsellors, therapists or life coaches, meaning you could find someone with a university degree, years of experience and membership of a voluntary professional organisation, or you could find someone who's done a 3-day course on the internet
You totes need some cats.
and specialises in bushflower essences.
And some kangaroo paw.
Now, it's important not to get the psychotherapist confused with these guys. Psychologists and psychiatrists are regulated professions with minimum qualifications and standards, with a whole range of approaches to therapy. But only psychiatrists are doctors who can prescribe medication. None of this is to say there aren't systematic problems with the mental health industry in Australia, but you can at least check psychiatrists and psychologists' registration status by searching the APRA website. The important thing is you find someone who provides the treatment that's right for you.
I prescribe you cats.
Everything's okay again!
Hot Devil Super Weed Killer.
Is that all you've got, God? This is
Great in wet and dry conditions.
Thanks, Minion.
Do not work on wet ground.
What the hell?
Actually, this is quite nice.
Hot Devil Super Weed Killer. The devil is in the detail.
When it comes to mobile phones, no one likes being left behind.
That's heavy. The new Motorola Microtac's only 1/3 of a kilo. It's light. Snake 1? Yeah, it's all about Snake 2 these days. 3G, 8 gigabytes of storage, 200:1 contrast ratio, mini SIM to the micro SIM card.
Just tell me in advance what the next thing I'm going to have to pay more for is.
PPI?
PPI is pixels per inch and refers to the density of pixels on a smartphone screen. Basically, the higher the PPI, the better the resolution and the sharper the image.
I'm even sharper than in real life.
But all the way back in 2010, Apple claimed the iPhone 4 screen had gone beyond what humans could perceive from a phone in front of their face.
There's a magic number right around 300 pixels per inch that is the limit of the human retina to differentiate the pixels.
Even the highest estimates are around 477.
Oh, give me 478. I can handle it.
Which is why your Galaxy S6's PPI of 577 or Sharp's just announced 806 PPI phone,
come on,
has considerably more screen resolution than the human eye can actually perceive. But it's definitely the best mobile phone for a Harris's Hawk.
Hello and welcome to FUtube. First up this week, we're dealing with cockroaches. I think we all know who the FU is from. But we also got one from Roger, who for 15 years was the happy owner of a sturdy Bosch dishwasher. As you can see though, something went wrong.
Hi there, FUtube. You caught me doing the washing up.
Because the new Bosch dishwasher that he bought stopped working in under 2 years. And Roger paid $90 for an authorised repairer to tell him that the dishwasher controller wasn't working due to cockroach damage. The Bosch warranty specifically excludes damage by insect attacks.
Now it's exploded!
Roger wasn't happy with that.
And of course, we don't have any cockroaches in our kitchen.
But he says quite rightly,
we probably have as many cockroaches as any regular domestic kitchen does.
Fair point. Cockroaches are found virtually everywhere in Australia. Even this week, here.
Beautiful. Referee checking with consumer law.
Good call. Of course, the consumer law says goods must be of acceptable quality, and that includes being reasonably durable. Sometimes things aren't as durable as you'd... Depends on the circumstances. But a $1,000 dishwasher shouldn't pack it in after less than 2 years in a typical home. And it should be able to handle the odd cockroach infringement. But not according to Bosch. They sent us 2 letters. The first just blamed their loyal customer. They said the dishwasher wouldn't have failed
if Mr. Quinn kept the area where he operated his dishwasher clean and safe.
That's this guy they're talking about, not this guy. But the next day, Bosch withdrew that letter and sent us a new official response.
From 15 June 2015, BSH will remove the reference to insect or rodent attacks.
Now, in both letters, Bosch say that they will now replace Roger's dishwasher.
As a gesture of goodwill.
Gesture of goodwill is fairly typical corporate spin. In Roger's case, it's BS. H, code for we were wrong, but we won't admit it, which is what Bosch said twice, very unconvincingly. So will the new Bosch warranty mean that claims like Roger's won't just be dismissed in future? Bosch refused to say. They also refused to say if customers who've already been knocked back wrongly, like Roger was, will get a gesture of goodwill themselves. But if your appliance isn't of acceptable quality, don't let Bosch or anyone Roger you. Just like suppliers, manufacturers are also liable under the consumer law if their products aren't of acceptable quality. And even when companies like Bosch make things more difficult than they should be, it's always worth a try.
Great origin try!
Bosch aren't the only ones who are better at taking customers' money than giving it back.
FUtube, free trials, credit cards, and bloody banks. What an unholy trinity that is.
Terry found that giving Quick Flicks the flick after a 6-week free trial was hard because in the rego process he had to set up a direct debit on his credit card.
They said the bank had no authority to cancel direct debit payments on a credit card. It seems the bank was on the side of businesses such as Quick Flicks and not on the side of credit card holders.
In Australia, about $20 billion a day is moved by direct debit. But cancelling them is annoying and complicated. Is this just another example of the banks doing a job on us? Terry is basically asking the same question that Zoe did about electronic transfers.
What the hell is going on?
Well, it all depends if the direct debit is paid by credit card or from a bank account. Unfortunately, if you're paying by credit card, Terry, the bank is right. MoneySmart says that direct debits by credit card need to be cancelled in writing. And it's best to send something to both the merchant and the credit card provider. Westpac says that cancelling in writing isn't strictly necessary for Visa and MasterCard, although it is for Amex. So if you need to cancel urgently, it may be worth calling first. But with credit cards,
well, it's complicated.
So keep your own record of the cancellation too. Direct debits from bank accounts should be simpler. For ordinary accounts, banks are obliged to promptly process cancellations, and they're not allowed to direct you elsewhere first, which sounds like the banks aren't being
a pack of massive.
Unfortunately though, surveys show that you'll only get the correct information from bank staff about 1/3 of the time. They're just as likely to tell you that direct debits can't be cancelled by a bank and that you have to contact the business directly, which is wrong. So in practice, they are still
being a pack of massive.
So there you go, Terry. The bottom line is that to be sure about stopping your direct debits and to make it easier for yourself if there's a dispute, the best thing is to send at least one letter. Maybe even two. Our last item on FUtube comes from a viewer who, quite frankly, just phoned it in.
This is Australian Taxation Office. As we have registered a criminal case against you, please make sure that you give us a call back as quick as possible to get any further information. It's extremely serious and time sensitive.
Shit! They know. Chaz, pack the bag! Obviously, that's not the real Australian Taxation Office. It's a scam. And surprisingly as it may seem, some people have been taken in by it. Now, there are a few telltale signs that it's a scam, like the real Australian Taxation Office would never say,
"Have a blessed day."
But these scammers are very sophisticated and they cunningly disguise the real reason they're contacting you, which is to ascertain your information.
The reason we're trying to contact you is to ascertain your information.
Now, there are more details about this scam and other scams like the false invoicing one, which Kirsten and Zoe mentioned last week, on the ACCC's ScamWatch website. It gives clear, practical info about what to do if you encounter a scam. In this case, they say that if you get a call from someone claiming to be from the tax office, you should just hang up, which, funnily enough, is what I do when the real tax office calls. Good night.